Hey guys, today we're going to talk about the Slicks bag. It's slicker than you might think. Okay, now what this bag wants to be is like your single bag travel in a kind of businessy environment. So what do I mean by that? I mean that it wants to carry all your stuff for like a weekend away or, a few days of travel, but it also wants to be the only bag that you bring, even if you're traveling for business. So I think a bag like that, we gotta judge on a few categories, 4 to be exact. As you can see, when I put it on, it's sort of like, it's a nice size. It's not too big. I like a lot of these single bag, travel bag type of things, and they're mostly bigger than this one. This one's a little more compact. It's also, the one that I got is all black, all right? So it's kind of sleek. It's kind of, doesn't say too much. It's sort of almost a little bit like tactical. It's sort of a curious looking bag. Like, hey, what's in the bag, man? Is it like an air to ground missile thing, or is it just your business papers? Your backpack straps, when you put those on, they look fine. They look fine. And then you also got on one side you have a handle, so you could pretend that you're doing like, look, I'm doing the briefcase, man. I'm doing the briefcase, and I take the briefcase, and I'm going to do it. All in all, the aesthetics are fine. I don't think it's gonna make what's-her-name in accounting check you out because it's like, hey, wow, he's got fashion and style. But it's also not gonna make you look like Terry with his 1974 Kelty rucksack. So out of 5 stars, I would give the aesthetics of this thing for being the single bag, sort of weekend warrior business bag. I would give it 3 stars. 3 stars out of 5, okay? Which is kind of like, yes, it's good. Now, is this thing going to be big enough for all your gear? This is a little bit smaller than some of the other single bag travel bags that I've used, like the Manal bag or something like that. But I think it does a really good job of finding little pockets and space to put your stuff. This bag itself comes with like this whole travel system, all right, which is this guy right here. It's a separate dealio that has two pockets, okay? One of them for like extra stuff, and it comes with like a bag. It comes with like a little like laundry bag, but this one's for like your t-shirts and undies and things like that. This one is for another thing that can come with it if you purchase it, the toiletry kit, which I actually really like this toiletry kit. Let me just show it to you for a second. It just opens up, it's thin, it's sort of thin, got the hang thing, and it's like, yeah, nothing to write home about, but it's like, oh, this is fine. I don't know how you feel about toiletries, but I have a lot of complicated feelings about them. I want it to be good, and I have a few of these things, and I always want it to be slim and slender. I want it to be able to fit into my bag. I want to be able to toss it in, because it's always the last thing that I throw into the bag. I'm like, oh shit, my toothbrush. But I also want it to be like organized enough to where I can get what I need to right away. I don't have to like dig in and hunt around for stuff. It's not big, it's not bulky, and I don't lose things in it. And this one does all 3 of those, and it fits right into this little pouch like so. And it is, voila, perfect. You can make it look perfect. Wow, yes, sorry. I've actually traveled a few times taking this in another bag because I kind of like this 1-2 thing, and then I haven't even showed you the backside yet. The backside of this is just one big, long, I guess, compartment, okay, where you can just throw whatever you want. I normally lay out my pants in here. Some of my like long sleeve shirts or something like that will just go long in here instead of folded up into the smaller thing. And one more thing you can get with this bag is this like sort of, I'm a shirt protector. I will protect your shirts. You can count on me. This is for your like your shirts like this, your neck shirts. What am I looking for? Collar. You put your collared shirts into this sucker. Drop down the clamshell thing. It's like a little bit rigid, so it protects it from getting sort of scrunched or crunch or something like that. Okay, so that goes right into here as well if you choose to. I haven't brought it on any of my travels yet. What's interesting about this little thing is I normally will travel with just this. So any bag this fits in has enough space for the gear that I need to bring with me, minus my shoes if I have to bring another pair of shoes. So, does this Lynks bag have enough room for your stuff? Well, if it can fit this thing, I would say yes, it does. But it does more than that. It goes a little bit beyond that. Okay, you have, in terms of like big space for your clothes and things like that, you also have this pouch on the front. This pouch is big and empty. All right, so you can fit your shoes in there really easily. You can put an extra sweater. You've got kind of a lot of space. I really like this pocket in some ways because shoes are always a little problem. I hate having to bring another pair of shoes, but when I have to, very few bags have like this kind of setup where you can easily throw them in. And then more than that, whatever else you have lying around, like it's like, oh shoot, why don't I bring that sweater? You can just kind of throw that in here. So it's a nice catch-all for the bigger, bulky kind of stuff. So, can the Lynks bag fit all your clothes that you need to bring for a couple days away on a business trip or even longer than that potentially? I think yes. I think the answer is yes. Like I said, it's a little smaller than some of these bigger bags you can get, but I prefer to be more constrained. It's easy to get through the aisles and do whatever I need to do when I'm flying, or I slide it under the seat in front of me. It's just a little bit too long, but I cover it up with my knees so the flight attendants never, oh honey, would you just put that under? So out of 5 stars, I would give this 4 stars for does it carry all my things that I need it to in terms of like my personal goods, my clothes, and things like that. 4 out of 5, which is the equivalent of like, yeah, it does. Now, the third thing that we're gonna look at is, does it have enough room or space to carry the business things that you're going to need to bring? So up at the top, there's a laptop compartment, okay, for your laptop. So I have to travel with my 15-inch MacBook Pro. I might need to edit a video. I might need to do a podcast thing. I have a podcast. You should look for The Fizzle Show. It's a good podcast. You should listen to the podcast if you're in the business, if you're trying to do a business thing. If you want to support yourself doing so, you should check out my podcast. So the laptop compartment is right here by the straps, and there's no real frills, except for the fact that it does elevate it off the bottom of the bag for you. So if you throw your bag down hard, you likely won't hit the laptop on the ground. It's not like velour or velvet or anything inside, but there's plenty of padding. I feel totally safe putting my laptop right in here, and it fits my 15-inch MacBook Pro. Now, for many of us, that's the only business thing we need to bring, but we might have some business papers, man. That would fit in here as well, not in like an organized pouch or anything like that. But another thing that a lot of us bring is an iPad. There's a small little hidden pocket right here, just underneath the big pouch and above the sort of the clamshell thingy. Okay, there's a little hidden pocket that I can fit my iPad Pro in. I travel with this because I'm a ninny. I don't know why I would bring this thing around with me, but it's like basically my notebook now. But it's huge and it fits in there just fine. It's not made for that. I don't know what this pocket's really made for, but you could probably fit your business papers in here too, man. And then finally, there's this smaller pocket right up here, sort of with a tiny little zipper that opens up, and there's a little pouch right here, like sunglasses size. I use that pocket to put my pens and pencils in because I'm a weirdo and I have to bring pens and pencils with me when I go. But I also need like, hey, some chapstick, or hey, my headphones, or hey, my sunglasses. And guess what? This pocket's getting really filled up right now. So in terms of like small pockets, I would actually love it if there was another one of these. If they redid this on the other side, maybe there's 2, or a longer, thinner one or something. I find myself limited in terms of, can I bring everything that I need with me in one bag? It's like I can get all my gear in here, but it's not gonna be pretty to get to the stuff that I need to get to often. Because I might have maybe more of that than other people, but I've got my headphones, I've got my sunglasses, I've got my pens and pencils, I've got my iPad, I've got my earplugs, who knows what you need, how long you're gonna be flying and stuff like that. It's like nice to have a little more accessibility for some of the knickknack stuff. And that's the one place I think on this criteria that it could do better. I feel like my laptop's safe, I can get my iPad in there, I've got plenty of room for business papers, man. I could just use another smaller pocket, maybe a couple other smaller pockets, just to organize knickknacks and things like that, because, you know, sometimes a guy needs something like that. So, is there room for your business papers, man, and your business stuff? Yes, there is. I would say 3 stars out of 5 on this one. Yeah, there's plenty of room for your stuff. Like, that's the equivalent of, yeah, there's enough. Okay, and number 4, is this thing going to let you down when you're out traveling somewhere? Is the zipper gonna break or the shoulder strap gonna break? Or is it made from good stuff? Good enough stuff for you to trust when you're walking into some business meeting with an important business person for your business life. Couple things I don't like on this bag. There's little zippers being used in a couple places. There's one for the iPad guy. There's one for the little pocket right here. I'm okay with both of those, though the iPad one, it's like a little bit, sometimes your bag's full of stuff and you're just shoving your iPad in there and you're trying to zip it closed. And you're watching these little tiny teeth trying to hold on to each other on the zipper, and you're just kind of like, this could break. But this is, you know, a little bit of a bigger zipper maybe than the one over here, or roughly the same size. And then same thing with the iPad, or the computer zipper. Oftentimes, you're packed to the gills in here, you shove your computer in, and you have to try to close up this little guy. It's totally supported on either side by the fact that the zipper only opens at the top, right? So it's really, even if you couldn't zip this, you'd be relatively safe, but it's your laptop. This is your life, man. So this has a smaller zipper as well, and it hasn't broken yet, right? But I look at it when I'm shoving stuff in my bag and I'm kind of like, I don't know about that one. Now, there's also another little hidden compartment back here that I could actually probably use for some of that pencil stuff, but it was supposed to be for the rain slick. It comes with a rain slick. The slick bag comes with a rain slick that just kind of goes like a condom. You know what it's supposed to do. It does this kind of thing. And it keeps the rain off, and it fits right inside this little pocket. Just fit the fuck in there. Voila, the bag fit right inside the bag. It has a pocket for it. So just so you know, it does come with the rain slick and another little zipper here, and probably one of those pockets I should probably be using for those little things. So maybe I should improve the score on the business thing, but I'll just leave it as it is for now. More material stuff. The straps. There's a lot of these compression straps and stuff on this guy, which I found to be kind of annoying because the bag is not big in the first place, but it would keep your stuff a little bit protected maybe from, roaming fingers to try to open up your bag. I just don't like them though. If I was using this bag, I would basically cut them off on the side that opens. I could leave them on the side that doesn't open. Let's look at the back really quick. The back is like nothing, like everything's fine. Everything's fine. It's like, neoprene, kind of thick, rigid, but still soft. It's fine. It's fine. The straps are fine. This is fine. it's fine. Like they're robust enough. Like, I don't have any worries about these things or how they're sort of attached to the bag. They also have like these. I don't think we need these load-bearing guys on this little of a bag. You know what I mean? These guys that help you adjust the thing. It's more straps hanging off. And then there's just the material itself. On these two panels going down the front of the bag, this is actually sort of like, it almost has like an insert. It's like rigid in some way. Even though it can kind of flop around, it just keeps it from flopping a ton. It's kind of nice. But the fabric over everything feels like your standard sort of Cordura. Doesn't feel like the highest quality, but it would be probably fine for most of us. I think you'd get like, you'd probably get a good few years of use out of this thing before it totally starts like losing its form, falling apart, cracking holes and things like that. So is it going to let you down is a question kind of about how hard you're going to use this bag. I assume I'm going to use every bag hard because if a bag breaks out in the wild, like, I'm screwed. So is this guy going to let you down? I would give this 2 stars out of 5 on that, just because the way that the fabric feels, I'm kind of like, all right, this is like maybe a 2-year, 3-year, maybe longer than that, depending on how often and how hard you're using it, kind of material. And the little zippers, I was kind of like, but I can understand why they need to use the little zippers, because they need to keep it smaller profile and things like that. These are the decisions a bag maker has to design around. And I think in some ways what it's a smaller format, nice and slick and sleek and doing the things, and you're paying for that a little bit with some of the materials. So 2 stars out of 5 on is this gonna let you down? I think if you're like, I need a bag for the next 3-4 years that's gonna get me to where I need to go, and then I'll get a new one later, that's fine. This would be more than fine for that. But if you're like, I want an heirloom, like, good luck. So that's the slick backpack thing. It comes with a bunch of accessories like I showed you, the inserts inside, the shirt holder thing. They have one for suits, they have your toiletry thing. A lot of travel system sort of things is what what they're hoping to do, and the bag that's custom made for those things. There's a lot attractive about this bag. In use, I would say I liked using other bags more, but this also wasn't terrible to use. If this was my only travel bag for business stuff, I think I'd be fine. In fact, it might be the best bag for travel as business stuff that I have. For instance, the Manal bag's a little larger and it gets a little floppier. This looks a little bit better when it doesn't have a bunch of stuff in it than some other bags out there. And yet it has enough room for all your stuff. So it's a nice balance of these things. If you like the Slicks bag, the look of it, and the way that I'm reviewing it here, I think it's worth a try for you to see if you dig it. Okay, I have been Chase Wardman Reeves from the internet. Thank you for watching. Listen to my podcast, The Fizzle Show, and hang out and just say what's up. Go, oh my God, I love you, bye.